Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving, goal-oriented rebel women come to learn how to live a vibrant and fulfilling life without requiring alcohol to get through it. No labels, no judgments, no saying you'll never drink again. Just real proven methods to help you stop rebelling against yourself with alcohol so you can drink less and do more. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik. Let's dig in. Welcome to episode 396, The Benefit of Practicing Patience. Well, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. I want to talk about patience with y'all today. Yes, slowing down, being uncomfortable, being willing to wait. All the things that our culture and society and world right now, in the time that we're in, is not really good at. Especially, I think, more so for Americans than other cultures. We live in a fast society. We have Amazon, same day. We have Uber Eats. We have on-demand, everything. Now, more. We get celebrated for how much we can get done in a day. Reducing time spent on things, right? Like, look at the way AI has infiltrated into our daily lives, right? It helps us do things so much more fast and efficient. And companies are celebrating that, they're training us in how to be more efficient and do things faster and blah, blah, blah. And so if you don't have a lot of patience and you recognize that and you get impatient or you get frustrated or aggravated or annoyed or irritated, when things don't move the way that you think that they should move, you're definitely going to want to tune into this podcast episode. Because I think the idea of patience is interesting. Usually what we notice is a lack of patience, right? A lack of slowing down, a lack of compassion, a lack of understanding, right? What we notice about patience is usually the opposite, those emotions and vibrations that I just described. We get irritated, annoyed, frustrated, angry, right? And we want to fix it. We need to get out of that feeling. And so we try to solve it, try to make other people feel better so that we don't have to sit in discomfort watching them feel uncomfortable. So this whole idea of patience is something that I think it's valuable for us to want to expand on, especially when we're trying to change behavior. Because as most of you know, changing your relationship with alcohol doesn't happen overnight. And it takes sometimes a lot of time and a lot of focus and a lot of energy and a lot of failures for us to move the needle and to identify progress that we've been making if we're being consistent and working on things. And that goes against everything that we've been taught in our culture and our society, right? We want things fast and now, right? Just look at how you operate on a day-to-day basis. We get instant dopamine hits the moment we pick up our phone. We're looking for solutions to do things the quickest and most pain-free as possible. Just look at our programming as a human. We want to avoid pain, seek pleasure, and save energy. So it's constantly running, so our culture and our society takes that into consideration, and it works with our human condition. So it's not a natural thing for us to have patience. It's just not. And so there's nothing wrong with you if you know that you don't have a lot of patience and you tend to rush through things and you want things to be faster and improved, a lot sooner than they currently are. So don't judge yourself for that. Okay? The first way, I think, to establish more patience is just awareness. Notice where you're not patient. So when you think about your relationship with alcohol, where are you not patient? Is it with your discomfort around urges? and the desire, that wanting for the alcohol. Do you wish you didn't have that? Do you wish it would pass sooner when you're in the moment of that desire and those urges and that chatter in your head that's telling you should have a drink when you hadn't planned on it? So that's where we start with, and sort of noticing where we are in our patient scale. So maybe you imagine a scale, like a horizontal line, and you have 0 at the left-hand side and 10 at the right. Where are you on the patient scale with your urges, with your feelings that you don't like? And once you see where you are without judgment, like where are you on that scale? Notice when you get into those moments in real time. Like, am I wishing this would go faster? Where on the scale am I right now? And just make note of that. Just like be conscious of it. And so you can measure your improvement over time. I have definitely improved my patience over the years, especially this big move with my family and I to Portugal. I've had to practice first being uncomfortable with things not going the way that I thought they should or had wanted them to go. And then practicing patience in redoing the timelines and the paperwork that we had to do to get here with all the kids and the bureaucracy of it all and moving and shipping and flying and coordinating and all of the logistics of this stuff. It's a big, big project. big one. And literally nothing went according to how we thought it would. Nothing. And so every time something didn't go the way we thought it should, or were told that it should, we would feel some negative emotion. Of course we did, right? Because we had an expectation and it didn't happen that way. So a normal human emotion would be to feel bad about that, right? Like to feel a negative emotion. And where the patience comes in is when you feel that negative response to whatever you think should be happening that's not happening, you allow. You're actually patient with the negative feelings. That's where the patience comes in. It's like a consciousness of allowing those negative emotions or ideas to be present with yourself. That's patience. That's how I define patience. If you're really good at practicing patience, then maybe if something goes wrong or you are working on something and it's taking a long time, you are telling yourself it's okay that this is taking the amount of time that it's taking. But usually we don't say those things until we have something to respond to, right? Like usually we're practicing patience when something kicks back to us or we're responding to something that isn't going as planned, right? We're not practicing patience when things are moving along in the way that we think they should. We're practicing patience when things are hitting a wall, okay? And the patient comes in after we have these negative feelings, okay? After we're responding to something that didn't go as planned. So I was taking a yoga class the other day, and she was talking about patience. And, are we rushing through the moves on the yoga mat? Are we just trying to get done with class? Are we just trying to get to the next pose? Are we just trying to get to Shavasana, where we're laying on the floor and we're breathing and relaxing? Or are we okay with being in each movement, each little wobble? Are we okay with things taking a little bit longer to get to that next pose than we think they should? Or what our neighbors are doing, or what the instructor is doing. And when you practice that, when I was practicing that in that class, it really does help you be really present, not judge what is happening, and stay connected to the moment that you're in. And that's really all that we have. We really just have what we're experiencing in this moment. That's what's real, always. And so whatever you're experiencing in the moment that you're in, when you're faced with this decision to be patient or to be annoyed or frustrated or irritated or angry or raging, because something's not happening the way you think it should. What do you want to choose? I think choosing patience is a much calmer and more lovely way to experience that disconnect of what you think should be happening that is not happening, right? So you can choose to stay in the anger or the frustration or the irritation. That's fine as well. And allowing those feelings to be present is the patience of them. You following me? When we resist and fight with reality and say things should be moving faster, this shouldn't have happened, blah, 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 that's resisting what is. Okay? So the practice of being patient is accepting what is and allowing whatever you're experiencing in that moment to be real and true for yourself without judgment, without a lot of thought. And so if you've been listening to this podcast and you've been getting coached by me and you're in one of my programs, acceptance is allowing more patience. Acceptance of what is in that moment and allowing that to move through you and allowing yourself to connect with your breath and allowing that sensation to be in your body. And that's the only thing you have to do right now. That is practicing patience. It's a good thing. And then once that emotion, that feeling, that sensation moves through your body, then you can decide if you want to do something or if anything needs to be done or a different action needs to be taken. But practicing patience will help you actually have a lot less drama in your life. So like the benefits of this is not adding more problems. So when we drink in response to our feelings, or we drink when we have these urges, obviously that doesn't solve anything, right? That keeps us stuck in our current relationship with alcohol. And then the next day, or even later that day or that evening, you get to experience regret, maybe a headache, maybe lack of good sleep, maybe heart palpitations and sweating in the middle of the night, waking up feeling like shit and dehydrated, beating yourself up. So you have a lot of excessive thinking going on, a lot of excessive negative thoughts. So those are the problems that not being patient with your feelings causes you, right? So what other problems is not being patient have they caused you? Have you rushed through something or gotten annoyed that something didn't happen the way you thought it should? Maybe it was at work and you fired off an email and I don't understand why this is taking so long, blah, 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 blah. What was the side effect of that reaction for you? Was it a relationship that, wasn't as good as it could be? Have you gotten feedback that you need to be more patient, which sucks, by the way? Right? What is it costing you? What is not being patient causing you? When I think about most of my clients who rush through the day, they pack too much in their schedule. They commit to too many things, and then they feel deflated and exhausted at the end of the day. And then they want to drink because that's the only pleasure that they've given themselves. That's costing them something of not being patient, not saying no, right? Like not saying, you know what, this project is actually going to take 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks because I don't want to rush through this. I want to enjoy this experience. I want to respect my coworkers and the vendors and whoever else is involved. And we're going to take this a little bit slower, right? Like think about all the ways in which we try to rush through things and what that costs us at the end of our day. And really, what's the point? Think about things that you are rushing through and see if you can practice patience, slowing down. First step, being aware how you're not being patient. What is the feeling there? Let yourself experience that without reacting, without taking action. Just breathe and process and allow. Breathe, process, connect with yourself. Tell yourself it's okay to slow down and experience this, that nothing needs to be fixed right now. Let that move through you and then decide what, if anything, needs to happen. That skill alone will save you a lot of time in excess drama and excess work. Because a lot of times we get so reactive and we cause more problems and more excessive communication with people, we drink, right? It's causing a lot more problems than if we were just to wait it out, experience our own emotions, pause. Sometimes the problem fixes itself. Sometimes somebody else might jump into a work project or respond to an email or volunteer to go help the family member before you have to. That problem took care of itself because you paused, okay? With the drinking, the problem took care of itself because all emotions are temporary. They never last forever, right? Just look at any given day. You have a range of feelings. None of them are permanent. And so if you can be patient to allow those emotions to move through you, what will that save you? What excess drama will you save yourself? What excess amount of drinks will you save yourself if you can be patient with what is? So those are the benefits of it. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. It's going to save you in having better quality relationships when you can just pause and practice being with what is. The power of the pause. So the one of my favorite quotes is by Viktor Frankl. It is, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So I will leave you with that, my friends. Can you practice patience? And it begins with allowing those negative feelings to be and being patient with what is and pausing before you respond. It'll save you, I promise. Okay, friends, talk to you next week. Bye for now.